So one of the biggest things I see in my industry, or I guess it's not really my industry, in remodels and construction in general, is people are not following the most basic rules of construction, which is following this plan, the easiest way to have a job turn out well, to avoid uh, ruining your budget, delays, project shortage, swapping out materials, no one being happy is if you just don't do this, which is being organized. So this is the system you need if you have a project, either you're about to do it or you're already doing it. This is what you need to do so that you don't have any complications. First of all, just so you know my credentials, my name is McKay with Hyper Peak Remodeling. I do remodeling here in Southern Utah. I've been doing it for several years now, and I'm just trying to help people understand that it doesn't have to be that hard. So when it comes to remodeling, the first step that's always skipped, the easiest step honestly, is just determining what you're doing. I know so many, I can think of 5 examples off my head of people I've had interactions with who have a remodeling project and they don't even know what they want to do. They're just like, I like to do all this stuff, which ends up becoming complicated because you no longer have the scope of work of what needs to be done. You don't know what you're like, how to avoid problems in the future if you're going to end up, for example, just so you can picture this, I had a project where we were doing a very simple pool house, straightforward. We're just putting on roof, we're just building the roof. The walls were already built because it was stone, it was brick. So we just had to add a roof to it. And they were going to do electrical and we were going to do drywall at the end. Very simple. Well, we get done framing it, the electrical's done, and the homeowner decides that she or he, not going to get myself in trouble there, she or he wants to raise the roof of a finished building when we're like already there. So now I have to scramble to figure out, we have to stop everything we're doing to figure out if we're going to raise the roof or we have to get with engineers and do it. That's what we ended up doing. The engineers just gave us a new designs. So that's being taken care of today. But we didn't have a clear understanding of why we were doing it. She was building, she was building this pool house so she could have a thing. I just want to be vague for that. Golf simulator. There's a golf simulator. Anyways, so that's step 1. Step 2, now that you have a clear picture of what's going to happen, now you need to get your plans drawn up. You need to put your ideas to paper. You need to get permits pulled. You need to get engineer stamps. You have to get selections. All of this is step 2. This one, pretty important, not as important as the first one, but still important to have all of that stuff laid out. Have it in paper. As my wife says, you can't keep it on your head. You have to put it down. You have to have evidence of it. So that's step 2. Step 3 is going to be protection. If you're doing a new build, you need to get SWIP. You need to get protecting the environment. If you're doing a home, you need to protect grandma's piano that she gave you. You got to put plastic over it. I always say there's 3 things you need if you're doing protection. You need to have your walls protected, your floors protected, and then the rest of your house, which means like your HVAC and a way for like the waste to go. So that would look like me putting plastic here, putting paper down the pathway. If you're remodeling a basement, making sure the pathway is taken care of. Step 4 is going to be the demolition. It's some people's favorite part. This is also an easy way for things to get a lot harder. If you cut something out you're not supposed to cut out, or you cut into it and you're not well, I hate to say this, but not everyone can do demo. You kind of have a little bit of common sense with it. You can make the job so much harder if you just dump everything on the ground instead of taking it out piece by piece. All done there. The 5th step is going to be your structural. So this looks like if you're doing like a bathroom or a kitchen remodel, this is doing like exterior walls. This could also be pouring your pad. If you're building, it's a little bit different because you got to run utilities under concrete, but basically it's get that done. After you got your structural stuff done, now it goes on to mechanical. This is your plumbing, your electrical, your HVAC. These guys need to know what you're doing, so it's really important to have step 2, the selections of what's going on, figured out, because if you're doing a shower trim that has just a single handle versus double handles, you have a completely different layout for what needs to go on. If you're putting your cabinets in a certain direction, you need to have that all figured out. So that's mechanical. Seventh step is insulation. This one can go kind of two ways. There's two different ways of going at it. Typically, you just put your mats, if you're doing a big remodel, you just do mesh across the walls and you spray the insulation in. I got a couple of videos of that. If you're doing like a roof, it's sometimes easier just to blow it, have an attic access and just blow it in. But preferences. You can also just put your mesh across the ceiling and then spray it in so it's all one trip. One of the biggest things at all this is make sure you can do it all in one time. If you have to have people come back and go and come back, then it makes it so much more complicated. So after that, I'm gonna just make sure this is still working. Okay, good. After that, you want to do your drywall. Very easy, just throw it on. The only really things you need to know about is what is the metal you're gonna use on the corners, and the other thing is knowing what texture you're gonna use. There's probably like 8 different types of textures, so knowing exactly which one is going on, I typically just try to match what's already there unless you're doing the whole home, then that's a different problem. So after your drywall's on, this is a big controversy in the construction industry. Some people say you paint, and some people say you keep going with everything else. I'm more of the opinion that you do everything else, just because what ends up happening, if you paint, for example, we paint this wall, we haven't done the trim or the floor. Trim guys, floor guys come in, they don't give just kidding, I'm not gonna swear. They don't care. So they're gonna throw their stuff in, they're not gonna care about the walls. You're gonna end up having to repaint the walls anyway. So save your money, just have them paint one time. There's just, people have different opinions. But how I like to do it is now you do, once your walls are all drywalled and textured, then you do flooring. How I like to do it is once you have all of your walls done, you come in and do your, I was right. You do your flooring. You do your flooring throughout. This is your tile in your bathrooms, your LVP throughout the house, because you can't squeeze that under the baseboard. The baseboard has to go on over, which is kind of a spoiler. Next step is trim. Cabinets, base and casing, shelving, that's it. That goes in after the flooring is in. You want that because some people will put their flooring after cabinets, but then you end up having that corner round in around the outside of the house, and I think that looks so tacky and so stupid. So that's my preaching, that's my soapbox. After you get your trim on, then this is when I would have flooring, or I'd have painting come in. They'd come in, tape off everything, knock it out in just one pass through. Once painting's all done, that's when you come in and do like your finish. This is the second to last step. You're putting in your hangers, you're putting in your plumbing, you're putting your countertops on, you're doing all of this stuff. And then after that is the clean. A lot of people forget about getting the cleaning done. It's the whole reason we do it, to have a nice clean home. You don't want to come in and have to sweep and mop and dust and all that other stuff. So that's the steps of a perfect project. That is the steps you need to know if you're going to be doing this yourself, or if your contractor's doing it. This is so you know what he's talking about. Have a great day. Thanks. Oh, before I forget, please subscribe to my channel and please like this video. Comment if you have time. If you disagree with me, let me know. I'm only the most smartest person ever. Just kidding. But thanks for watching. Have a great day.